Good morning, fans of the new network, rock enthusiasts, and other folks that are looking for exciting things to do. We have a great concert, it felt like a music festival to tell you about. It was called, or it is called, Back to the 2000s. And it was a lot of fun. We ended up going up there the other night to the Blue Note in Cincinnati, Ohio. But the good news is for fans across the country, it's not over. The event started March 1st and goes all the way through March 23rd. So there are still opportunities to see it at different venues, but it is so much fun. It is so exciting. It has, of course, the Union Underground, Soil, Raw, and Flaw. So it's got a lot of great bands, all the bands, that you remember from the early 2000s that knew how to rock, and they still know how to rock. I mean, it was recently when I experienced it. It was pure energy. I enjoyed it so much. My wife enjoyed it. Just had a wonderful evening. And I recommend going with the VIP package because if you do that, you get to meet the bands and they are really cool guys. They're worth meeting. So, yeah, it was just a great experience and just have nothing but great things to say about it. Obviously, you want to go out and get your tickets. I mean, the music takes you on this epic journey, and really, I mean, it transmits you back to the time of the early 2000s. But the nice thing about it, it's not just a nostalgia thing; it's an electrifying opportunity, and it's a way for the next generation. So that's what you should do. You know what? You should take your kid with you. You take your nephew, your niece, whatever, family, and it show them how much fun the early 2000s were and how great their music still is. I mean, they are powerhouse bands that are performing at such a high level. I, for example, a big fan of Flaw. They're from Louisville, Kentucky. I think that might also be part of my bias because I'm from Kentucky. I'm from Northern Kentucky. But yeah, shoot, I love their new metal feel to them. And they used a lot of their songs from their debut album, Through the Eyes. So that was fun. It was an electrifying performance. It filled with powerful music experiences. It left the fans wanting more because, unfortunately, shoot, the earlier they play in the lineup, the less songs they get to play, which, oh gosh, was kind of disappointing. That was the only thing that was disappointing about it is the fans wanted more. They shoot if it was up to the fans, gosh, they probably would have had the bands play all night long, but obviously we can't force the bands to play all night long. They can only have the venue for a certain amount of time, but yeah, they just were rocking constantly. It was phenomenal. I mean, you can tell the passion that Flaw has in their music. It was an incredible experience. And then after Flaw was Raw. With Raw, the the American alternative metal band from New York. And it's interesting because, of course, Ra, they're named after the sun god and how he's kind of a duality. Their music is kind of duality. It was heavy, but it was funky. It was direct, but yet sophisticated. It was sensual, but yet soulful. It was unrelenting, yet cathartic. I mean, it gave you a wide variety of feelings and the feeling, same thing with the Raw, or with the Flaw. The fans, the feeling they had most of all, that they wanted more. They wanted to keep rocking. I mean, they played their hits. Do Do You Call My Name, Fallen Angel, Don't Turn Away, Broken Hearted Souls. So I mean, they played a big catalog of songs, but it was never enough for the fans. And then, of course, the main two that the fans were there to see, Soil and the Union Underground. Soil, also an electrifying performance. They played a lot from their breakthrough album, Scars. And of course, I was excited to see the relentless fan support, but the fact that the original members, were back. Two of them had been there the entire time, Tim King and Adam. on guitar. So it was great to see them perform as a band together. The thing that I find interesting, and it's kind of one of those little fun little factoids, is that Scars came out on September 11th, when unfortunately the world changed. Not just because of the album, but because of, well, you know why. And somehow that album has been able to stand the test of time. It was an experience. It was magical, and the wife loved it. She has not always been a metal fan, but I think it swayed her over. I think she is now going to enjoy metal music and going to be more open to a wider variety of bands. And then, of course, the headliners, Union Underground, they're from Texas, as everyone knows, and they played An Education and Rebellion. Gosh, an amazing album, timeless album. I mean, it really shows their dedication, their passion, their intensity. But the thing about it is, I've heard from folks that because of their overwhelming support from fans, that they're working on new music. And hopefully next time they're in town, because I look forward to going to their next show, they will be performing the new music along with the classic hits. So I mean, gosh, it was just great how Bryan Scott was able to reintroduce the golden age of new metal to fans, not just their existing fans, but fans, like I was saying, bringing that family member that might not have been a metal fan and introducing them, because it really changes people's perspectives on the genre of music. So, I mean, it was quite an electrifying experience. I think, shoot, this kind of music is timeless, but it's a lot of personal preference. And I just, I had the pleasure when I was younger to go to some of the top music festivals like Ozzfest, and it felt like being at one of those festivals. Just, I know it wasn't the crazy, insanely huge crowds, but it still had a huge. I mean, the building was packed at the Blue Note in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the atmosphere was great for it. Hopefully, the atmosphere for the other shows on the Back to the 2000s tour is going to be as much fun and as exciting as it was at the Blue Note in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then, of course, the evening crescendoed with Union Underground playing their hit across the nation. And of course, with being a wrestling fan, second you hear that, you can't help but pop. You can't help but be just so enthusiastic and excited about it. So yeah, shoot, I would recommend Back to the 2000s, not just for metal fans, but for anybody who enjoys music and anybody who enjoys the experience of live music. And because that's what live music is about. It's about the experience, it's about the intensity, it's about the excitement. And an event like Back to the 2000s really captures that. So, fans of the new network, fans of Sarah's playlist, I hope you all attend Back to the 2000s and have as much fun as I did.